Hello, welcome to My Life on Paper. I am Brianna and I am so glad you are here. I am doing a layout for Scrap a Sketch. I am on the creative team for that. I'm not using their sketch today, but I am using printables. I am also playing along with May I Scraplift You, which is on for the whole month of May. It is by Pineapple Papers, which is Crystal Barrett, and she has a list of people that we can scrap lift. And we can use that list or we could do our own thing. So today I am lifting Nayla, who is Nelly Pickles underscore crafts, which is on Instagram and YouTube. And here is her layout that I'm lifting. I am also playing along with Rainbow Crush with the Paper Snob. We are doing purple, and I'm also playing along with Get in Shape, and our shape is ovals. Meredith graduated with her master's a year ago now, and so her school colors were purple, so I decided to go with these pictures of her. And I went and I got printables for Scrap a Sketch in shades of purple, kind of obvious, and then also the purple tags, and I cut them out ahead of time. For the Get in Shape series, I used ovals, but I used them much more subtly. If you've watched my previous months, I have gone big with squares and octagons. I think we did hearts. I'm not sure. I'm not remembering. But I went big with all of those, and this one I went more subtle. So you can see I already used my Cricut to cut out a big oval, and that is in place of the circle on the layout I'm lifting. And I'm going through the shades of purple printables. I don't have them all out here because I've already gone through them and kind of picked out the ones that I want to use. That striped paper is actually from Close to My Heart. Not that that shocks anybody. If you've been here before, you know I have a lot of old Close to My Heart papers. So I just had that in my purple color scrap bin. I grabbed that out. I have these tags, and right away I was thinking that I would cover up the elements that are on there. So there's a tag with flowers. Not that I couldn't use flowers, but I do. There are some school elements with the purple collection here. So I figured I would be and there you go. It's got some crafty utensils. It's got the books there. I'm gonna grab out these banners. Nayla had like one on her strip up there, but I'm going to use 3 banners because that's what the collection comes with. And then I've got a rainbow I pulled out, and I like the arrows. I'll use those. And then Nayla has this square on the bottom that's kind of like a journaling spot. So I grabbed out this notebook looking paper for my journaling spot. Her title is up on top, and I did try my title there, but I've decided because it's so big, it's got that weight. It needs to go on the bottom. Now the title, the love that's in gold, was on a paper pad, and I had used the rest of the paper, so I trimmed out this from the title. The background paper is pre-done background paper that I found in my purple papers, and it just fit perfectly with purple. It's got different shades. I really like it. I was going to use white for the background, but this just gives it a little bit more interest. So these tabs are always printed so that you've got it's like a real tab, right? So it kind of mirrors itself, it folds over. But with scrapbooking, I always think, are you supposed to fold it over? Or I usually trim them so I can use one half of one on one page and one half on a different page. You're going to see that I left this one as a whole piece, and I do just bend that over, and the other one gets trimmed in half. Now, if you have questions about that sounds kind of wonky, you just let me know, but I've explained it to the best of my ability. The dark purple tag that I have above the first picture there says happy, and then the light lavender one doesn't have any words on it. And then I just go ahead and pick out different things, keeping like I want an arrow in each cluster. I've got a heart in each cluster, but you can see that tag up on the right corner is I'm using the hearts to cover up the butterflies. Again, not that I couldn't have used the butterflies, but I like the hearts, so I pulled those out of the shades of purple printables. I pulled out some Close to My Heart sheer ribbon that I've had for absolutely forever. And I'm going to use that ribbon to put through the tag hole of the tags. The tags that I'm using are oval. So now I have the lavender oval in the background. And there's quite a few of these oval tags in the printables. They're all different shades of purple, and they all match this page perfectly. One of the ovals, I get a bright idea of making a hole on the top and the bottom, and it's more like I don't know if you'd call it a label, but it's going to go sideways then. So I'll show you how. Now, when it comes to threading this sheer ribbon through the holes, I will use my scissors to guide the ribbon through. Um, it just helps push the ribbon through the hole. My fingers are too big and my fingernails are not long enough to try and do that by itself, so that works. And there you go. It's kind of like a label, I would call it. I'm not sure how I'm going to use that yet, but I like the way that looks. I just have so many of these. I didn't want to do the tags all exactly the same, so that one is going to be just a little bit different. And here I will go getting the ribbon through this tag. Make sure to check out everybody below. There's going to be a playlist for Get in Shape. There's going to be a playlist for the Rainbow Crush Hop. Um, I will list all the information for Scrap a Sketch, so you can check out the website where you can buy the printables. There's also sketches there and stencils. You can also join the Facebook group, which I will have listed, and I also have a code for 10% off your purchase at Scrap a Sketch. That is Brianna, Briana 10. All right, so what I'm doing now is placing things out how I want them. And this, I don't think I've ever done this in scrapbooking in 25 years, but I wanted it centered, that oval, and I just really couldn't eyeball it up to see where centered was. Now, a circle, you don't have much issues because you've got the same distance, top, bottom, left, and right. So I pulled out that uh, ruler so that I could run it across my mat there, so the 6-inch part, and then I could kind of eyeball, yep, it looked like the same amount of the lavender on the left as it is on the right. And I glued it down. Now I'm going to go around and try to, well, I shouldn't say try to. Normally I like to get things down and then glue underneath without moving them. There's a lot of little pieces here. The other part was that I wasn't so worried about getting things super exactly. I just knew what cluster I wanted them in. So it wasn't super important to keep them exactly where they were. I hadn't worked that hard at everything. At first I thought I was going to overlap the banners with the oval, and then I decided to shorten it up. I like the way that looks. I don't know if you can see. Oh, there. I've got that kind of scalloped part. That's was just a piece of paper that I had with a border on it. And I really kind of wanted that on the left side of that left picture. And I kind of really knew if I had picked it up and put it off to the side, it was never coming back. But I just wanted to get a couple of things on first. And guess what? Spoiler alert. It it's right in front of me. I totally miss it. It doesn't come back. And that's okay. It had a little bit more blue than what I wanted. I thought it was going to be the blue was going to be covered up a lot. I don't know. It wasn't make or break, so I don't feel bad about it. And I will find a place on a different layout on it. So I do glue the pictures down exactly where those sit since I have those figured out. And then I will get adhesive on the back of my lovely title. Now, I did for a second when I was all done think, heck, I didn't put gold on any of the rest of my layout. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I do love these lovely different shades of purple. I'm going to glue the tag down along with this calendar. And I knew I would write the dates on later. I wasn't going to stop and take the time. Um, at the end, I do write the month on it. It was May, but I will go put the days in later. And here is gluing these hearts down. I do put them onto adhesive foam tape to just pop them up a little bit, and I'll just randomly put them down on top of the butterflies so that they get covered. And so now that I have the printable, I can print that off as many times as I like, and I can make other tags with that, and so then I can use them with the butterflies in the future if I want. It's nice to have those printables to be able to use over and over again. And they go so far even when you just print them off the first time, because like I said, I'll have just a couple pieces left over um, on my desk here that won't use, but I also have a whole bunch to the side that I knew I wouldn't be using. Here is the tag with the flowers and the notebook paper, and like I said, I cover up the flowers. Not that I couldn't have kept them there. I just like the school items that came with this printable collection. I get a heart down. I'm going to get a heart down in this cluster. And at this point, I only have one oval tag on the layout. So you can see that dark purple one in the right lower corner of the right picture. But I will manage to get, I don't know, there might be 5 of them on here. This is the one that I made into kind of a not a tag, label. And then I'm trying to figure out where I want the tab, and I put it on top of the label. I don't know if that looks weird there, but I do like the way this turns out. I have to confess, it's not often, if ever, that I get 4 hops or series in one video, but this was perfect. Ovals, purple, a scrap lift, and then the printables for Scrap a Sketch. I am loving this layout. I showed it to Meredith. I texted it to her. She loved it as well. I have lots more pictures of Meredith's graduation to do. I've done a couple, but lots more to go. And this just turns out perfect. Look at there. There's like a little printed pen and a little printed pencil. I'm going to move them over and then move the rainbow over. I end up not using the other rainbow. I felt like I had enough going on there. Otherwise, I would have put that in a different cluster. But, and then, they say like you should have different size clusters. So one should be a big, one should be a medium, one should be a small. I don't always follow that. I do a lot of, more like even clusters, so they're all the same size, but there is some interest in making them the clusters different sizes. So I'll trim that off. I do get the tag and the left cluster there. I tucked 2 of the tags under either side of the label that I created, and I will put some embellishment pieces inside that label. I'm getting close to the end now. I think this uh, arrow is the last one to go on. Each of the other clusters, well, 2 of the other clusters, I kind of really now have 4 clusters, but 2 of the other clusters have an arrow. And then I'm going to take out my Dilutions shimmer spray. It's ink spray. Dilutions ink spray in crushed grape. And that is going to be, oh, nope, here's where I put the May down on the calendar. So that is it for me today. And until next time, may your memories always have a home on paper.